Revelation chapter 8 verse 12. The fourth angel blew his trumpet. And a third of the sun was struck. And a third of the moon, and a third of the stars, so that a third of their light might be darkened, and a third of the day might be kept from shining, and likewise a third of the night. The plague of the fourth trumpet strikes a third of the sun, moon, and stars, causing darkness on a third of the earth. This scene evokes the ninth plague, which brought darkness upon the land in Egypt. Exodus chapter 10 verse 21 to 23. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Stretch out your hand toward heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, a darkness to be felt." So Moses stretched out his hand toward heaven, and there was pitch darkness in all the land of Egypt 3 days. They did not see one another, nor did anyone rise from his place for 3 days, but all the people of Israel had light where they lived. In the Old Testament, the darkening of celestial bodies announces the coming of God's judgment. Isaiah chapter 13 verse 9 to 11. Behold, the day of the Lord comes, cruel, with wrath and fierce anger, to make the land a desolation and to destroy its sinners from it. For the stars of the heavens and their constellations will not give their light, the sun will be dark at its rising, and the moon will not shed its light. I will punish the world for its evil, and the wicked for their iniquity. I will put an end to the pomp of the arrogant, and lay low the pompous pride of the ruthless. Ezekiel 32 verse 7 and 8. When I blot you out, I will cover the heavens and make their stars dark. I will cover the sun with a cloud, and the moon shall not give its light. All the bright lights of heaven will I make dark over you, and put darkness on your land, declares the Lord God. Joel chapter 3 verse 15. The sun and the moon are darkened, and the stars withdraw their shining. Darkness is also a symbol of judgment against apostasy. Micah chapter 3 verse 6. Therefore it shall be night to you, without vision, and darkness to you, without divination. The sun shall go down on the prophets, and the day shall be black over them. Light in the New Testament stands for the gospel. Colossians chapter 1 verse 13. He has delivered us from the domain of darkness and transferred us to the kingdom of his beloved Son. 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 9. But you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for his own possession, that you may proclaim the excellencies of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. John chapter 8 verse 12. Jesus is the true light. Those who believe in him will not be in darkness. John 12 verse 46. I have come into the world as light, so that whoever believes in me may not remain in darkness. Darkness is the absence of the gospel. When people reject the gospel and choose the darkness, they bring God's judgment upon themselves. John chapter 3 verse 19. This is the judgment, that the light has come into the world, and men loved the darkness rather than the light. The fourth trumpet best describes the condition of the world during the period that followed the Middle Ages. The Reformation of the 16th century rediscovered the gospel and restored the Bible as the rule of faith and teaching. However, the vibrant generation of reformers was succeeded by a lifeless generation, known for Protestant scholasticism, which was characterized by theological polemics and controversies. Christianity became less of a personal relationship with Christ and more of a membership in the official church. This situation had a deadly effect upon Christianity. The Reformation marked the end of religion's dominance over the minds of people and the beginning of the intellectual revolution in Europe during the 17th and 18th centuries. The Enlightenment period, or the Age of Reason, ended the dominance of Christian faith in the Western world. While this situation led to the rise of rationalism, skepticism, humanism, and liberalism, it ultimately gave birth to secularism. Despite its positive impact on science, politics, religious liberty, arts, and education, secularism's materialistic orientation, denial of supernaturalism, and skepticism toward faith of any kind allowed human reason to replace the Bible's authority. The negative aspects of secularism gradually eroded Christian faith and robbed millions of the hope of salvation. The fourth trumpet might, thus, describe how the spiritual source of the true light was darkened under the prevailing influence of secularism. The singular effect of the fourth trumpet plague is the partial darkening, 1/3, of the spiritual light sources. The deepening of that darkness and its dreadful consequences become evident in the following period, portrayed in the fifth and sixth trumpet scenes.